like they focused more so on the cheesiness of 1984 and trying to get that across than telling the story of like her. Tell her story. Her story is not, it shouldn't be focused on this cheesy shit. Like, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Snip or Snap with HB from KC. I am super excited for this one because I don't think you're gonna guess how I feel about this today. We're gonna see if you know, and if you think you know, put it in the comments. But I'm almost certain I'm gonna catch you guys off guard because today we're covering Wonder Woman 1984, also known as WW84. It needed some WWD-40, but nonetheless, we're going to review it. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and ask that Mr. King Bajan just pop on up and hi.
Hi.
Oh my God, you just came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Talking about Wonder Woman today. Are you excited?
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. The timeline don't lie. And the timeline was swaying in one specific direction about this movie, and I'm just not gonna lie. They didn't lie. All right, cool. Let's talk about Wonder Woman 84. Cool?
Cool.
All right.
When this video was recorded, HBO Max had Wonder Woman 1984 on its streaming platform. Since they have taken it down, I headed over to Google, and this is the description of Wonder Woman 1984 that they have.
So, of course, like the first one, it's starring Gal Gadot. This one also has Chris Pine and Kristen Wiig, which was a big shocker. Let's talk about the acting. How'd you feel?
The acting was excellent.
Really?
The acting was excellent, yes. Gal Gadot and Chris Pine's chemistry was very good. They had a couple moments that were throwbacks to the first film. Yeah, and I mean, Kristen Wiig is amazing. So, yeah.
What did you think about Wonder Woman 84?
I think very strong acting performances. I think that is what stands out most about this film for me. The visuals are actually pretty good. I appreciate the different locales that they went to. There's one in Africa that they went to in particular that I was very happy about. Yeah. You know, so it's the 80s. It's all around good time for everybody.
Please don't shoot me, police.
Yeah.
1984, right? That's how it went,
I
right?
brought some to that.
With some hairspray. That's the only thing I'm missing. Talking about the acting, I was really shocked by Kristen Wiig. It was not a purely comedic role. Like most of her stuff is pretty much pure comedy.
Okay.
She was great as a dramatic actress. I was really shocked by that. And she had physical fitness because she was doing all kind of stunts and ish. I was very shocked by that too.
She got physical.
Yeah, she did her thing though. You're like a DC Universe fan. Is it fair to call you that?
Yeah, that'd be fair.
That'd be fair. What did you think from the standpoint of does it align with the comic books? Is it accurate? Did it connect with the first Wonder Woman film?
Well, let me go on record here. The first Wonder Woman film is one of the greatest movies ever made. One of the greatest superhero movies ever made. Woman film is one of the greatest movies ever made. One of the greatest superhero movies ever made. It was absolutely excellent and phenomenal. So they had their work cut out for them to follow up that incredible movie, right? I believe that they deviated from, the standard mythology surrounding Wonder Woman, and they kind of did a little bit more of their own thing to make it into a more movie version of the story, just so they could tell it, right? And for the most part, in terms of the story itself, they make it work, right? So yeah, the story doesn't align as much in terms of what we commonly know about Wonder Woman and retellings of her story per se. But for the movie, the story works.
It works.
Yeah.
Okay. One of my favorite parts was the very beginning. I think that was my favorite part of the whole movie. Like, in the very beginning of it, they do a flashback to when she was younger, and something happens to young, Wonder Woman. What was her name? Diana. Thank you, because I did not know. She's just Wonder Woman, because I don't care. So something happens to Diana when she's a kid that really does set the foundation for why she chooses to do things the way she does things in the movie. But on the flip side of it, it's like they took a lot of time to tell the story, to say nothing.
Yeah.
It took a lot of time.
It does drag on in some parts. It does. It is a bit of a stretch here and there,
I want that 2.5 hours back. That's just... You know what? Let's just move on. Would you give this film the snip or the snap, King Bajan?
Well, I think it's kind of obvious at this point that I give this movie, Wonder Woman 84, the snip. The snip. Cut. A lot of people have been saying it's not a good movie. A lot of people are right.
Yeah.
Saying in Barbados, a million sailors can't be wrong. If everybody's saying one thing, then more than likely that thing is true.
Yeah.
This is such a bad movie. This was such a waste of time. I'm offended as a person. I'm offended as a feminist. I'm offended as a nerd, a comic book enthusiast, as it were. I'm offended all around. They did not give this movie the time and the effort that it deserved.
I think they gave the movie too much time. So let me just tell y'all off the rip. I give this movie the snip. There's no more prolonging it. This movie was a waste of time. This is what pisses me off, okay? They be having the budget in place. They'll have an A-list of actors and actresses, which is exactly what this has. This is the screenwriter coming out, because I'm really pissed off. You got everything you need. Budget, actors and actresses. You got studios. You got crafty. You got grips. You got clamps for shit. You got everything you need. Mm-hmm. And you still flop. And the main thing that flopped was the script. The main thing that pisses me off is taking 2.5 hours to tell a good hour-and-a-half story. A lot of the sequences you see are completely unnecessary. There's a part that Chris Pine plays in the film, and they spend so much on it. They spend at least 30 to 45 minutes of the core part of the film just on his relationship and interaction with Wonder Woman.
And it didn't matter.
It did not matter.
It didn't add anything.
They could have, oh my God, I'm getting hot thinking about it. They could have made it so much more concise. I think that's probably everybody's issue with the film. For one, it being that long for no reason. And two, it wasn't action-y. That pissed me off.
Yeah, okay, so one of the things they did in the movie is they sort of went back in time with the action per se. So if you've seen the Superman with Christopher Reeve in it, pretty much any one of them, and it's real cheesy, and there's bits in there where he's saving kids and then he's smiling at them and stuff like that. They brought a lot of that over into this Wonder Woman.
It's whack.
It's really, it doesn't fit the time.
It's whack.
I get that it's Wonder Woman 84, but it's not. We're not in 1984.
It's whack.
That. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. It doesn't translate well on screen. It looks cheesy. It looks very, very juvenile.
Because it's whack.
And thus it's insulting, to the viewer, because it's like, hey, why would you show me this? You could show me something that's a bit more polished, a bit more put together, a bit more well thought out. It gave us none of that.
Because it's whack.
Because it's whack.
Everything he said is valid. The shit whack. This is a movie that really did piss me off. Because the movie concept itself is not bad. If they would have realized we're in the year of our Lord 2020, you know what I mean? And just pulled back on the cheesiness a bit, replace that cheesiness with action, even if it was cheesy action, they block something and it's like one of those dramatic blocks, but it also makes sense. You can do that. One show that I'm thinking of that does that really well is Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like the nigga blind and he can still see better action. All right, that was a disappointment.
It really was.
It was really a disappointment. And I'm gonna be honest, most of it I didn't even really watch, and I still got the full concept of the film. I think I was like writing another screenplay to get funded and hopefully never do this with. So
yeah, the thing with the invisible jet flying through the fire.
That pissed me off. That was the main part. I was like, why do we need this? I feel like they focused more so on the cheesiness of 1984 and trying to get that across than telling the story of like her. Tell her story. Her story is not. It shouldn't be focused on this cheesy shit. Like, it was really disappointing, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, even certain plot points, the reality that she had a hard time letting go, the fact that a part of letting go requires you telling the truth to yourself and not lying. And that goes back to the very first sequence.
Right.
You know, and then how that plays into the ending, where telling the truth to yourself is actually like an important thing in terms of living life and accepting and moving on no matter what your circumstances are. They don't build up any of that properly.
Not at all.
So you kind of lose it in the midst of forced romantic interactions and cheesy one-liners and just, you know, the story seeming to hop around from place to place, and it's got pacing issues, man. There's stuff in terms of the editing, like the fight in the White House.
That was chopped and screwed. It was not good.
Man. You could almost see the wires.
Yeah.
You could almost see the wires. It's
like,
that bad.
And because Kristen Wiig definitely had to be on the wire, because she plays a character that's very, let's just say, hoppy.
Yeah.
She plays a character that's very hoppy. So, I mean, what?
I like that.
Thanks. She's playing this character that, you know, hops and bounces and shit, and you know she on a wire. You just know. King Beijing and I have come to the conclusion, this is actually in rare form. We don't really ever usually, if we disagree, it's like a disagreement, but we don't usually agree that something's bad. One of us usually likes it, but in this case, Wonder Woman 84, snips, thumbs down, no Rotten Tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. I don't know what to give you to say that we didn't like it, but it wasn't it. It wasn't.
Also, it's not worth getting an HBO Max subscription just to see.
Period, Pooh. It's definitely not.
Because they're not offering a free trial thing or
nothing.
It's not worth
it's
that.
Not. Shout out to my girl Chelsea for letting us borrow the HBO Max. You a real one. That's the only way we were able to watch this. So thank you. All right. Well, thank you for being here, Mr. King Beijing.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you've seen Wonder Woman 84 and what your thoughts are. Yeah, that's about it. Y'all have a good night or whatever. Thank you for watching. Bye. Did you do Wakanda Forever on my video? Girl, all right.